Hello everyone, welcome to class 9 social sciences tutorial. I am Sangeeta Sharma and today our class will be on chapter number 7 from geography portion. Topic is drainage. You can turn your textbooks to page number 114. Lesson number 7, the name of the topic is drainage. If you have turned your textbooks to page number 114, drainage, when you hear students, when you see this drainage, what do you understand? Drainage, when I was a small child in school, I used to think drainage means it's related to drains. Of course, it is related to drain. To drain means to flow. Drain is flow, so drainage is flowing. So flowing drainage is related to river flowing. So drainage means the river system of a particular area. So we come to drainage is a river system. River system of a particular area, of an area, is called drainage. So what is river? The stream of fresh water flowing in a path in a definite direction is called river. System, what is a system? Many small rivers in an area comes and joins one main river, and that main river carries the water from all the small rivers and carries it into a lake, a sea or an ocean. That is a system. So river system that you find in a particular area, it is called drainage. So drainage is used to refer to a river system of a particular area. Here you have to understand river means the stream of fresh water that flows down a particular channel or a definite channel, and system means different channels or streams of water coming and then water being drained into one main river, and that river takes the water and then goes and empties it into an ocean, a sea or a lake. That is river system. So river system is known as drainage. So drainage of an area, because in this chapter you need to be clear with these terms. Unless you are clear with these terms, as we go on with the lessons explaining, because of the terms you will get confused in these particular lessons. So first is river, you need to remember. Then system, river system. Then we come to drainage. Drainage, I just told you, drainage refers to river system. The next is drainage basin. We will be often coming to this term drainage basin. What is a drainage basin? So the next is drainage basin. I have just told you drainage means river system. Drainage basin means the area of land from where a river catches water or gets its water. So the whole area from where a river, the source of river is in that area is called the drainage basin. Next we come to catchment area. You must have heard many a times catchment area of the river. Catchment area is that area where a single river drains in a particular area. It has its source there, but one single river is there and that river drains in that area, that is catchment area. Then you will often come across watershed. Watershed area. Watershed is the boundary between two rivers. Two parallel flowing rivers, when a mountain comes on the way or a mound comes on the way and these two parallel river takes a different direction, that is watershed. So in short we call it as the boundary between two rivers. So let me just repeat, a river is a natural stream of fresh water flowing in a definite direction. River system means all the small rivers coming together and draining its water on the main one river, and that river finally drains into an ocean, lake or sea. Drainage refers to river system. So you should not confuse, that is why I am explaining this. Then drainage basin means the area from where the river gets its source or water. Catchment area is that area where a single river flows. Watershed is the boundary between two rivers. Okay, the next one is 7, tributaries. Tributary or tributaries. I will write tributaries. Now, when a main river is there and small rivers comes and joins here, 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 all these rivers, small streams or rivers that gives water to the main river, this is a main river, these are called tributaries. Now, when this main river flows, one channel only it flows, and then after going here it again divides like this. It divides into 2, 3. These are called distributaries. It distributes the water into 3. So, when different tributaries or small streams comes and gives the water to the main river, these are called the tributaries of the main river. Now, the main river flows, and as it is about to drain into an ocean or a lake, it breaks into different branches, 2, 3 branches. This branching out is called the distributary. This term you have to be clear with. So, I have explained and shown you distributaries, tributaries and distributaries also. Now, we come to valley. This is a term that we will be using often, valley. A valley is a low-lying area between a mountain or mount, okay. In between mountain you will find a valley, and this valley is often covered with stream or water. That is a valley of water or a stream flowing down a particular channel in between 2 higher levels of land or mountain is a valley. So, a low area of land between hills or mountains with a river or stream flowing through them is called a valley. And every river flows through a river valley. So, we say every river flows through a river valley. Now, next we come to 10 is river. Now, when we talk about river, a river flows through long course. That means it starts from the mountain higher level and flows through long course, and then finally goes and drains its water into an ocean or a lake or a sea. So, it has a long course. So, in this long course, a river starts from a higher mountain. For example, the Himalayas, the river starts from there. The slope of the mountain where the river starts is very steep. So, when it is steep, on the higher slopes of the river, that is we call it the upstream also, the erosional work or the carrying away of the depositional matters is very strong, or we say that there is intensive erosional activities in the upstream or in the upper course of the river. Then as the river flows down, the slope in the foothills of the mountain and the valley, the slope of the land becomes gentle. So, when the slope of the land becomes gentle, the deposition, all those that are carried by the volume or speed of water from higher places, it is deposited at the lower stream or at the lower level. We call it the floodplains, and many depositional features are made in this lower level or found in this level. So, before we go to that, a river can be divided into 3. First is source, second is bed, and third is mouth. Source is the place, the beginning of the river is called the source. The place from where a river starts is called its source. And the channel where the long course, this is called the bed of the river. We also call it, here I have shown you valley, the river low-lying land that is covered by stream of water, that is a valley also. This here we call it, the beginning part is called the source, here it is called the bed, and the end part where the river finally ends or drains its water into a ocean, lake or sea, here we call it the mouth. This is the end portion where the river finally drains its water into an ocean, lake or sea, that is the mouth. So, you have to remember this also. Now, the mouth of the river is usually the end, that is the mouth of the river where the river drains its water into a lake, ocean or sea. It's usually the place where the river flows into another river, bigger river, or into a lake or into a sea. Now we come to riverbank. I'll rub this. I've explained to you this tree. So I come to 11, riverbank. What is riverbank? I was sitting by the riverbank. The sides of the river, the two sides of the river is called the riverbank. Now divides. The next one, 12, is divides. Divides are also sometimes known as watershed, these two. Divides means the height of the land. Sometimes it happens a river is flowing down its course through the mountains to a higher level, and it happens that a higher level of land or a mountain comes in between, and so when it drains down it tends to cut through this river, it tends to cut the land and go, and as a result the higher level of the land decides to which level. For example, a river is flowing down and obstruction comes in the middle. Now on the height of the land, the river will decide which direction the river will go, right side or left side, or which area it will go. So lower level, the water will start draining towards the lower level. That's why divides. It is called divides, or we sometimes call it the boundary or the watershed between two rivers also. So divides is the height of the land that separates the river, the height of the land, the higher level of the land that separates the river, and sometimes divides are also called watershed. Why? Because they decide, in the watershed decides, or the boundary, that land, that obstruction decides to which direction the river will flow. Those are the terms that you have to be very clear. River, stream of fresh water flowing down the stream in a definite channel. River system, all the small rivers coming together to form a big river. That is called the river system. River system is referred to as drainage. So the topic is talking about river system of an area. Drainage basin is the area from where a river collects its water. Catchment is the place where a single river flows. It has its source there. Watershed is the boundary between two rivers. Tributaries are the small rivers that gives water to the big river. Distributary is the river, when a big river branches out or branching out into smaller rivers and finally draining into the ocean, lake or sea. Then a valley, a low lying area of land between mountains which is covered by water. A stream or a river usually flows in a valley. Then we have river has three rivers can be divided into three parts. The upstream is the source, the beginning, the starting point is the source, the course where the river flows is the bed, and the place where the river finally ends is the mouth. And mouth is the place where the river divides and finally gives its water to another big river or an ocean or a lake. And divide is also sometimes known as watershed, when a river is flowing and a higher level of land or a mountain comes in between. This height of land decides to which direction the river will flow, and as a result this is known as divides because it decides the direction in which the river will flow. If you are clear with this, it is there in the textbook also, but I hope I have been able to simplify it for you. Now we will go to the next one, that is called patterns. Patterns means designs. That was 1. Now I come to the 10th one, that is patterns. Patterns here you can take it as repeated design in geography. That is the meaning that I have found out, so that it becomes easier for you. Pattern, we say a particular pattern means design. So repeated design, that same design comes again and again. So what is the use of pattern or design in geography, and that also when we are talking about rivers, okay? Now you can see the figure on page number 116 also, 114 sorry, on page number, and then there are some figures that are given, how a valley is made, how a gorge is made, and then a drainage, and the different kinds of depositional features also are given there. You can turn to your textbook on page number 114 and go through it. I think with the explanation that I just gave you, it will be easier for you to understand. Now, when river flows from when river flows into the streams and rivers, when water flows into the stream or river, it forms different patterns or designs, and these designs are repeated decorative designs, or you can say it is a repeated design depending on the slope of the land. How is the slope of the land? It is too steep, it is gentle, it is flat depending on the slope of the land, and also on the type of rock the area is made up of. So, when a river water is flowing down, or a river or a stream is flowing down from a higher level, from a mountain to the lower level, it generally forms different designs, you can say, or patterns depending on two things: the slope of the land, whether it is a steep slope, it is a gentle slope, or it is a flat slope, and also depending on the type of the rocks that is the area is made up of. So, the patterns formed as the river flows down, number one is the dendritic pattern. A dendritic pattern. Number two is a trellis pattern. Three is a radial pattern, and four is radial pattern. You can write, just write radial pattern, no A. Centrifugal pattern. So, I will not write pattern here in short. Okay, so, pattern, when the water flows down the river or stream from higher level to a lower level, depending on the slope of the land and the rock that is found in that area, it forms different designs, and these designs of rivers are dendritic pattern or dendritic design, trellis pattern, then radial pattern, and centrifugal pattern. So, the dendritic pattern, okay, in a dendritic pattern there is a single stream, okay, one single stream flows, and this single stream is joined by small tributaries coming in and joining its water or giving its water to the one main river, and that looks like a branch of a tree, something like this where branching out is there. You can see on the textbook also branching out, it looks like, this looks like a branch of a tree. This is a dendritic pattern. In a dendritic pattern, small rivers flowing from different areas, it gives water to the main river. This is the main channel or river, that is a dendritic pattern, that pattern. The second one is the trellis pattern. In a trellis pattern, there is one main river and short rivers gives its water at right angle, and as a result this kind of patterns are formed. So, this is called trellis pattern. So, a trellis pattern, a long river, in a trellis pattern, a long river is joined by short flowing streams approximately at right angle, that is 90 degree, approximately at right angle, making a rectangular pattern or rectangular design. This is a trellis pattern. Now, we come to radial pattern, the third one. Radial pattern, there is a dome or an insight area, for example, volcanic expansion, a dome or a peak is there, and from here this is a lake. This is a low lying area, and from a low lying area, from here river flows on. So, from a central position water goes to different areas, that is radial. It looks like the spokes of a car wheel. Okay. So, this is from the center, the river water goes this side. So, a radial pattern, this has streams flowing in different direction from a central peak. This is a central peak or a dome like structure. This river flows outward, from inward it is flowing outward. This looks like a dome like structure, and water is here, and this water moves to different areas. From the center it goes out, from in to out, and so this river flows outward forming a pattern like the spokes of a car wheel. Then the next one is the centrifugal drainage pattern. It is usually found that in arid regions means less rainfall area. In those areas, in semi-arid areas or less rainfall receiving areas, okay, stream converges or stream comes from different areas, small stream comes from all sides towards a central depression. In the previous one, there was a dome-like structure in the middle, and from here it was going, when I see this, it's going out. This was radial. Now you can see a better picture is there. I am just giving you a rough idea with my drawing. My drawing is not perfect, but you can see in the textbook. Now the next one, the separate one is centrifugal. How it is different is that here from inside it goes out, from in the centrifugal what happens is that from outside it comes towards the middle depressed area, and this area is lower. So what happens, from all the sides water flows inside. So when I say it is coming from this direction, means it from outside water is coming in here. Here, from here water is going outside. So this is radial pattern and this is centrifugal. So centrifugal drainage basin, this it's usually found in less rainfall areas or arid areas, and streams converge, we say it converges from all sides towards a central depression, low area where there is a lake, and usually this is a lake here. So water is coming from here and then giving water to the lake. In this case there is a dome-like structure, and from here the water is flowing out, here out, here in, here out, here in. So that is about the pattern. Now we come to the next one, that is Indian river system. This is the patterns. Now we will come to the Indian river system. We have based on the origin, means where the river starts. Origin means where is the water river getting its water or source, where is the source of the river. Origin, it originates in the Himalayan region or it originates in the peninsular region. Where it originates, the Indian river system can be divided into or classified into two types. One is Himalayan rivers, and the next one is peninsular rivers. So depending on the place where it originates or based on the origin of the river, where the river is originating, Indian river system can be classified into Himalayan rivers or Himalayan river system and the peninsular rivers or the peninsular river system, and both these are very different in nature from one another. They are very different from each other in many ways. Okay, both are. So I will be first discussing about the Himalayan rivers, its features and characteristics, and the basins made by the Himalayan rivers, and then we will do separately peninsular rivers so that you can understand clearly. So the next topic will be, both are here, so I will be removing this and we will concentrate on Himalayan rivers. Now why Himalayan rivers? As the name suggests, Himalayan river starts in the Himalayas, okay, the lofty mountains or the tall and the big mountains of the Himalayas. This river starts here, and because of that it is called the Himalayan rivers. Now what are the features of Himalayan rivers? Okay, how do we know, or what are the features, the main features of Himalayan rivers? Number one, it is perennial. Himalayan rivers are perennial. Perennial means what? Himalayan rivers, these rivers have water in its valley, or it has water throughout the year. These Himalayan rivers, one feature of Himalayan rivers are all these rivers which starts in the Himalayas, these are perennial, okay, and perennial means these rivers do not dry up. There are some rivers you will find that during the rainy seasons the river flows heavily, but summertime comes, the dry season comes and the river dries up. No, Himalayan river is perennial. That means it has water throughout the year. Second is that water, from where it gets water? It gets water from rain and snow melt. It has water throughout the year, Himalayan rivers, so we call it perennial. Then this water comes from rainfall as well as from the snow melt of the lofty or the tall majestic Himalayan mountains. Then the third one is Indus and Brahmaputra. Three river system will be doing under Himalayan river system. There is the Indus, there is the Ganga and the Brahmaputra, but the two major river is the Indus and the Brahmaputra. The Indus and the Brahmaputra, these are the two major rivers that originates from the northern side of the Himalayas. Now, the next one is, fourth one is gorge. What is a gorge? And gorge means deep valleys in as the river flows down the mountain, it cuts through the land and then a deep trench or drain like features are made, and these grows over time and becomes deep valleys which are called gorge or gorges. So, the two rivers, these two rivers, these two major rivers of the Himalayas, okay, the Himalayan river Indus and the Brahmaputra, these two rivers, it starts from the north of the Himalayas, and these two rivers, when it flows down the hill, it cuts through the rock mountains, or it cuts through the mountains and creates deep valleys, very deep valleys which are called gorges. You can get spectacular gorges in the Himalayas. Then the next one is long course. The Himalayan river flows through long distance from the Himalayan mountain till down to the valley. So, it has a very long course. In this long course, in the upper course, there is intensive erosional activities going on, because in the higher slopes of the mountain, the speed of water is high. As a result, the speed of water or the volume also of water is also more. So, the volume and the speed of water tends to wash away everything that is there on the bed of the river and deposits at the lower course of the river. And so, in the upper stream, the velocity or the intensity of erosion is very strong, and it carries away all the sand, silt, all those top layer of the river bed. It carries and swiftly it sweeps back and brings it and deposits in the lower level. Now, in the middle and the lower course, what happens? The slope is gentle. It starts to become gentle. It's not very steep. So, the flow of water tends to become slow or sluggish, a little slow, and as it is slow, it cannot push all the depositions that comes on its way. It cannot, and so it starts to deposit on the floodplains. So, as it deposits on the floodplains, it creates many depositional feature. One is called here, one is called, I will just write here, meander. Meander, there it is in the book. Meander means curve or bend. Okay. When the river is flowing like this is called meander. So, when river flows like this, is flowing here, some deposition comes here, the river is not able to, water is here, it cannot, then it will change its channel and go this side. Sometimes what happens, this is cut off here, and then a crescent shape lake is formed. Crescent means the first quarter and the last quarter of the moon, that like this kind of a lake is formed here. We called it as the second feature. Meander means the curve that is made as the river flows, depositional structure, and the second one that I drew is meander. The second one is the oxbow lake. Meander and the oxbow lake. These are the kind of features that are formed at the lower course of the river, because the river has deposited sand and silt on its mouth, and so the river, because of the collection of huge lot of sand and silt, the river cannot pass through, the water cannot pass through, so it has to change its channel or direction and go other way, and as this channel gets cut off, it forms oxbow lake. So, these are some of the depositional features that we find in the Himalayan rivers. I will quickly read out the characteristics also. It is similar, the features and characteristics. Himalayan rivers have large basin. Basin means a bowl shaped area, okay, where the river brings all the sand, silt and deposits. So, basin means a bowl shaped area of land. So, large basin, the Indus basin for example, Indus river brings about Indus river. It is perennial, it receives water all through the year. So, it is a perennial river. Spectacular gorges, very beautiful and striking, spectacular means striking gorges or valleys are made by this river as it passes down the Himalayas. There is intensive erosional activities in the upstream, but in the lower and the middle course it becomes less. Then depositional features are formed like the meander, the oxbow I have explained, even river cliff, okay. Cliff means a high face of rock, then flood plains, okay, that floods every year. Then embankment, or we call it, another term that you will come across here is levees, okay. Levees, levees means embankment or protection that is formed because deposited rocks are deposited, earth or soil is deposited and then a huge mount and then the water cannot flow. It becomes like a protection that is, or an embankment that is called levees, okay. These are depositional features that are formed by the river as they flow down the plains. River system or drainage system. So, river system means drainage means river system only. So, the rivers originating in the Himalayas consist of 3 river system, that is the Indus river system, the Ganga river system and the Brahmaputra river system, which I will come and explain to you in the next class. For today's class we end our discussion on this chapter here. Hope to see you again in the next class with more on this chapter. Stay home, stay safe. Bye.